Hey everyone, Graham the Bad Gamer here. Today we're going to be playing NationStates. Well, this time we're going to be playing a tutorial. I'm going to do a tutorial. So when it comes to NationStates, like if you're completely new to the game, like you might be wondering, how do I start this game? So I mean, I'm already a bit of an experienced player. Uh, so the way you start off is by creating a new nation. So on the homepage, which is just nationstates.net. Uh, there are two options for creating a nation, like this button in green or the button on the top right of the homepage. And you can all see world, how to play, sign in. I'm just going to explain how to play. So click on new nation for creating a new nation, and then it goes to this page where you create a nation. So the first option is basically determining what kind of values of each of the three core stats of a nation. The core stats of a nation are what determine our personal freedom, economic freedom, and political freedom, which all have different effects. So, and which I'll explain later, what their effects later. So, by default, let's say you go with the default option is centrist with moderate amount of all types of freedom, and then anarchic is the has the highest starting amount of all the freedom, and tyrannical has the lowest amount, barely any, and then authoritarian is slightly more liberal than tyrannical. Socialists had a lot of personal freedom, same amount of political freedom as it's just as a the same amount of economic freedom as a tyrannical state, and then same amount of political freedom as an authoritarian state. And conservatives has a strong focus on economic freedom. Liberal has a strong focus on personal freedom. The other freedoms aren't compromised on are not as sacrificed as much. And then capitalist has a somewhat strong focus on economic freedom, and then libertarian and anarchic have a high amount of all kinds of freedoms. So I'm just gonna go with authoritarian for now, and then the next session is a series of 8 questions based off of your own based off of certain political beliefs. So, question 1: a country should be judged by how it treats its worst off citizens. All the questions and a few other things something else help determine some of your secondary stats, about specific things. So, for question 1, if you strongly agree with a country being judged by how it treats its worst off citizens, you get a lower amount of economic output, but you get a higher amount of income equality, foreign aid, welfare, education, and government size and taxation. So what it shows it's the changes in stats, green means that stat is increased, and red means the stat has decreased. Yeah, and then if you just click agree, then you only get increased welfare, education, income equality, and inclusiveness. And I don't see any inclusiveness in the strongly agree part. I'll just go with just disagree for now, because I mean these don't entirely represent my actual political beliefs. I'm just showing you examples. And question 2, corporations are good for society. This is a primarily economic one. So, strongly agree is basically increases your economy but decreases your environment, while strongly disagree increases authoritarianism and the environment but decreases but what makes the economy less free. Uh, so I'll just go with agree. And marijuana should be legal. Strongly disagree. I strongly disagree. It leads to higher law enforcement, authoritarianism, social conservatism, safety and compliance, but with decreased recreational drug use and civil rights. Like you can have your own opinions on all what your opinions are, but those are kind of irrelevant to this video. And then, like, strongly agree increases have his some stats while decreasing a bunch of other important stats. And the game tries to be as realistic as possible while also being satire. The world needs to discover spirituality, decrease. The, I strongly, partially disagree. Like I said, these don't entirely represent my own. My answers to these questions don't entirely represent my own opinions on these issues. Young people should perform a year of compulsory military service. Now this is the only time where I'm actually going to talk about my personal stuff. When it comes to performing compulsory military service, I probably won't be able to join the military because of a health condition I have. Yeah. Capitalism is way out. Disagree. Without a democracy, country has nothing. And it's better to deter criminals and rehabilitate them. Yeah. And then history also affects on the secondary stats. While violent segregationists, increased weaponization, defense, law enforcement, arms manufacturing, and decreases apathy. Recently discovered undiscovered tribe, increased culture, environment, fishing, weaving, and primitiveness. Sackers and salvagers, increased defense, mining, arms manufacturing, and the death rate, crime, decreased welfare. Like-minded isolationists, increased intelligence and corruption, but decreased law enforcement and taxation. Polycumenists, pioneers, increased environment and intelligence. Ethnic cleansing refugees, increased foreign aid, compassion, and culture while decreasing apathy. Diplomatic homeland wranglers, increased intelligence, pacifism, education, and education, and decreased defense. Civil bloodbath survivors, increased insurance and healthcare, and the long-suffering but still optimistic pilgrims just increases spirituality. I'm just going to pick civil bloodbath. That's what I'm gonna pick, and then once you're done with that, you need to create a name for your nations. Like for the tutorial series, I'm going to do GTBG testing site. GTBG testing site. GTBG, of course, standing for my YouTube channel, Graham the Bad Gamer, and then with classification, it's just completely cosmetic. Like once your nation reaches like I believe 500 million population, you can create your own custom classification. But for now, I'm just going to go with the Federation and the flag. Once you're in the process of creating your nation, you can only choose the list of provided flags. Of course, there are a lot of provided flags, like a few hundred. I'll just go with the default flag. Like I believe it's an Australian Aboriginal flag. But I'm not entirely sure. And the currency, you can come up with your own thing. Like test coins. Yeah, test coins. The research. National animal is the teacher. And then you just have email. Now the email is optional, but it's highly recommended just in case you forget your password. Like, hey, it's the email when you click the Y button. It shows you the description. So, if you forget your password, this lets us email it to you. Otherwise, your nation will be lost forever. You don't want that. Think of your poor people. Privacy policy. Your email address is kept private and not spammed, nor shared with anyone. You're only ever sent information about nation states, and you can opt out, and then you can go for policy. If there at least a privacy policy, and then password, which you can just create, and then you don't have to be remembered, but you have to agree to the nation states terms and conditions. If you don't click the I agree to the nation states terms and conditions, it gives an alert saying that you have to check that box. And then the nation states terms and conditions, like it gives a brief list of the terms and conditions, but this is the full terms and conditions. The brief one says nation states is a free online political game. Players should respect the fun, playful atmosphere of the game and remains remains civil when interacting with each other. However, this is politics. There are more players than moderators, so someone may post content that you find objectionable. By continuing, you agree that you understand this and that NationStates.net is not a publisher and not responsible for any post by the player. Of course, that might be forced to change in Europe with this whole Article 13 thing, but I'm not sure. But I believe Article 13 just deals with copyright. Anyway, yeah. And it says, please note that the nation-states forums sometimes contain discussions of a mature nature and are not suitable for visitors under 13 years of age. Like, the main reason why they say that is because one of the reasons why they say that is because nation-states is also sometimes used in schools. Like, there are ways to create school nations. Basically, a teacher can create a nation and then invite the rest, invite classes. A teacher teaches like in order to play it. Then, but of course, all mature content like that can be blocked is blocked headfirst from school nations. So you have to play on your own, without being a part of a school. without being a school nation to had to experience all issues and to experience a full game. And even then, there are some parts of this game the game that can only be accessed through if you do certain things in the game. So let's see, and then I'll just create the nation. And then you can go to your nation's settings, like, and then like with telegrams, you can block certain telegrams. Then WAK, World Assembly campaigns, and then region allow, and then external allow some. Handle telegrams by default. Use short nation name. And always show the compose box. Update display preference. Yeah. And I immediately got a region telegram, and one telegram you always get is a note to the leader. It says, "Congratulations, leader, on your swift and surprising rise to power. Let me be first to say, I was always on your side." Insert nation name here. Contains 5 million citizens, including myself, and we're all eager for you to steer our destiny. You'll do this by addressing issues. Several await your attention already. You may also wish to consider insert nation name. Here place in the world. Its physical place, that is. The world contains thousands of regions, many eager to gain our glorious nation as a member, and I'm sure your telegrams will soon attest. If you notice one that will suit us better, please do deploy our cutting-edge deal relocation technology to shift insert nation name here, there. It would be a shame not to use it. The depreciation expense is kind of insane. Those bean counters over at the World Census have informed us that they intend to begin raising insert nation name here on their ridiculous scales. I'm sure you don't care about such things unless they show insert nation name here to near the top, that is, but you can find their nonsense under rank. There's also the World Assembly. Now this is a credible institution. I recommend we gain membership so we can vote on international law. That way your wisdom and insight can help guide the whole world. It'll allow us to endorse other nations and regions so they can tell when they're doing something right. I won't take any more of your time. I can see the line outside, and national destiny doesn't just manifest itself. Haha, but if you're ever in need further advice or information, may I direct you to these dispatches and perhaps the international forum. It's all written by other nations, of course, so biased and self-serving. But your keen eye can sort truth from fiction. Good luck, your humble servant and number one fan, Max Berry. And if you don't know who Max Berry is, he was the guy that created NationStates. So, and notices show anything like notices like international policies, banners, mentions in a regional message board, telegrams, and so on. And then there are issues. So nation starts off with 4 by default, and it's one of the originals. They start off with with the original 31 issues. And then, so first one on the list is budget time. Accountants excited. That's like one of the original 31 issues. Like says like with the issue, like there's an image that there's the issue, there's a description of the issue, and then the debate section, there's a bunch of options. So the issue is called budget time. Economists excited. The issue, it's time for the government to allocate spending for the coming year. And as always, special interest groups are keen to have their say. And then the debate has at least 2 options in every issue. Yeah. And the way you answer certain issues can affect statistics, national banners, and even national policies. And even some rare cases, your World Assembly membership. And here's the debate for this issue. So, option 1: the state of the education system is in many areas simply frightful, says teacher union leader Manuel Stevenson. And even where we are doing well, we could do better. I appeal to the authorities for a substantial boost in funding. Remember, children are our future. And the second option: we won't have a future unless we improve our police numbers and rebuild the military, says General Shona Burke. Oh, it's all well and good to have your fancy education and your nice cars, until some tin pot dictatorships decide to invade. Don't pretend like there aren't any of them in our region. Our number one priority has to be security. The third option is education is nice, but health and social welfare are more important, says celebrity social worker Anne Marie Haynes. That is where the people who really need government help are, the marginalized of our society. If we don't help them, what kind of a nation are we? And option 4 is, hey, I got a crazy idea, said noted libertarian and birdwatcher Earl Palpatine. How about the government stops taking so much tax from people? Give us a tax cut and we'll buy the things we need ourselves. People need to be weaned off the government's heat. So I'll just go with option 2. Whenever you answer an issue, there's always a talking point, which is a description about the effects of the issue. Then some recent headlines, and then there are recent trends, which basically just changed it in the national stats. Then you can also completely dismiss issues. I'll just with this dismiss this issue button. So I'll just dismiss uranium mining worker strike issue. Then telegrams, you can compose telegrams to any nation. And you can automate the process of sending telegrams either through use of telegram stand or through API, which I'll get more into later on in this tutorial series. So let's just go into our stats. Other people's leading causes, and let's go to the rank. So basically, the World Census is compiling a list of stats right now, but of course it does get updated regularly. And then when it comes to regions, you can join any region you want. Whenever a nation is created, whenever a nation is created, it automatically joins one of the nine feeder regions, which are basically base regions. A feeder region is one that a nation goes to when it isn't in any other region. Whenever a nation is created, recreated, or kicked out of another region. And then, I wonder if anyone's banned. Yeah, even feeder regions can have nations that are banned from it. So, anyways, I'll get more into nation states in my next tutorial. So, anyways, Grab the Bad Gamer signing out.